Does 2022's fall reach new heights?
Or does it plummet to the earth? Find out next on the cutting room floor.
Falling off a pole.
What's up, misfits and metalheads, and welcome to another episode of the cutting room floor. We are from the band Cut Like This. I am Thorn Black.
I'm Rose Blood.
And today we are talking about Fall. Oh, streaming on Netflix. What was that sound I just made? That was horrible. I'm totally keeping that in the video. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Also have a brand new single out right now called Be My Valentine. Go and check that video out. Give us some streams. Leave us a comment. Give us some love. All right, Rose. Why don't we dive into this, and why don't you tell them a little bit about it?
All right, let me paint this picture for you guys. The Fall is a high-altitude survival thriller about two best friends trapped on top of an abandoned TV tower 2,000 feet in the air. It's messed up.
2,000 feet. Come on.
It's messed up.
Come on.
From the producers of, 46 meters down? Is that the...
47 meters down.
47 meters down. That
movie.
Terrifying shark movie.
That was a good one, yeah.
That was a really good... That one scared the crap out of me, too. So, yeah, I knew that I was in for... Honestly, I saw the trailer for this thing, and I was like, dear Lord. I was like, what? I was like, I'm gonna have to watch this. This looks terrifying. If you didn't know, your girl used to be very, very scared of heights back in the day. I am not as scared of heights, since joining the circus, and, I've been up in the air on a trapeze 25 feet in the air.
Mm-hmm.
I got used to being up in the air, but for a very long time, I had a lot of issues with being high up. And I saw this trailer and it brought it all back. I was like, oh man.
Yeah,
it just...
I feel that.
Honestly, sometimes when I would go up to the trapeze, because we'd have to climb this big long rope to get all the way up to this trapeze, and it'd be like 20, 25 feet up in the air. And then you'd just be, you'd just be up there, no lines or anything. You know what I mean? We'd just be up there, just a little bar with some ropes on it. And
all that's keeping us up there
all that's
is
keeping us
our
up
grip.
is our grip strength, right?
And our muscle legs. That's about it.
That's it.
Yeah.
We used to have to do crunches just hanging off of it from our knees, like way up, because that's how they trained us, so that we would be comfortable enough to do our act. We'd have to just train endurance and just be comfortable up there. That was part of our training.
We're hanging from our legs, with our knees bent upside down, doing crunches like 20 feet up with just giant crash mats under us. No lines or anything.
No lines. No
crazy.
lines. You're not Peter Panning down from that. You just better get used to it. I'm like, can we get a lot? They're like, no, you need to just get used to the fact that you're going to be up there.
Back to the movie though.
Anyway, so this movie it has a nice, tight, little compact crew.
Mm-hmm.
This was actually shot like right after we watched the behind the scenes, and they were talking about how this was shot like right after like quarantine and stuff like that. So
nobody was as strong as they were.
So they had to do a lot of training. These girls did these stunts themselves.
Fantastic.
Good job. I have to say,
Fantastic.
let me give a shout out to them specifically. All right, our main characters are Becky, played by Grace Carolyn Curry. She was in Shazam! Fury of the Gods. She was she's no stranger to horror. She was in the Annabelle prequel, Annabelle Creation.
Ooh, nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Shiloh Hunter is her best friend. She's just called Hunter throughout most of it. I think you only hear her first name like one time in this movie. But she's played by Virginia Gardner.
Mm-hmm.
She was in the movie. We just saw this movie, actually. It's called F Valentine's Day.
That was her?
Yeah, that was her.
I didn't recognize her.
That was
actually.
her.
Okay.
And she was also in the 2018 Halloween. And she was also in that show Runaways. We keep coming across actors from that show.
It's funny that sometimes I will see an actor in like multiple things and won't really realize that it was them that I'm seeing.
That means they're doing a good job of acting, you know? like it's amazing though, because it's not like their appearance changed drastically, but the way that they acted and the characters that they embodied were so different that we totally didn't realize it. Because I didn't realize that, and we literally just saw F Valentine's Day this past weekend, so I was surprised by that. Becky and Shiloh are climbers, you know, they're avid climbers and stuff, and they are...
They better be trying to climb
yeah,
that tower.
Yeah, they are mourning the loss of, you know, Becky has lost her partner, her husband, Dan, and all three of them used to, you know, were really tight-knit little group and stuff, so they're kind of like, you know, just getting back to, you know, Hunter's basically trying to get
her back on a
Becky
horse, so to say.
to get back into climbing and stuff like that, so that she can stop being so sad, you know. So they're kind of dealing with like this, you know, this sad event that's happened and stuff, and they're kind of just trying to like, and you know, it's like a girl power kind of vibe, you know, like girl road trip adventure, you know what I mean?
Her friend is trying to get her back on a horse, so to speak, and to kind of somewhat celebrate the anniversary of the passing of you know, their friend slash husband, depending, you know. And I'm like, did we need to go climbing again? Did we need to go climbing something that high? Our first time back, at least for the one girl, it was her first time back. But did we really need to go that high our first time back?
This tower is actually based on an actual structure that in Arizona. That was one of the tallest
structures at the time. It was the fourth tallest structure in America at the time.
It was not shot on the actual thing. It was shot on a set that they built on the side of a cliff, and this thing, it was 100 feet up in the air. These girls were actually climbing this thing multiple times a day. They were actually getting blisters on their hands because you know, you're climbing like climbing 100-foot ladder. You know what I mean? Every day, multiple times, because you always have to take more than one shot. You know what I mean? Of climbing up and down. So, I mean, that's impressive, man. These girls really
they were really doing it. They worked hard.
I was already impressed by their acting because they did a great job as these characters. They feel very real. They feel very real.
And on top of all of that, they had a hard time just filming everything because the weather was so unruly. They were shooting out in the desert somewhere, but the weather was crazy. It even like rained on them a couple of times. I'm like, wait, what? And then they got attacked by a swarm of flying ants. Apparently,
they got infested.
They built their 100-foot tower on top of like a colony of flying ants, and then all of them came out and they were all over everything and everybody.
Horrible.
They're at the top of the tower, they're circling the thing. They were having such a hard time shooting this film that it's amazing that they got enough footage to film it. You know,
it was impressive, like seeing all of the behind the scenes and the making of, and all of the challenges that they faced.
I love that they were really high up. Actually, it's like they may not have been 2,000 feet, but I don't know if you've ever been 100 feet and known you were 100 feet up, but that's actually very high, and the platform they're on, it was not
tiny.
big.
It's tiny.
It's barely enough for two people, and there's two people on it the entire time practically.
The actors were saying like, yeah, when you see us clinging for our lives onto this thing, you know, we actually were though, because also imagine you're 100 feet up in the air. Once you're that high up in the air, you have to deal with wind. You know, and the winds, they actually had like restrictions as far as like they were measuring how much wind was going on, because they said if it was anything past 30-mile-an-hour winds, they were not allowed to go up there because
it might fall over.
It could fall over.
That's reassuring.
And one day on their set, they actually reached 60-mile-an-hour winds, and you could see like the video of the behind the scenes. You can see like stuff is flying everywhere,
their equipment's
all over
flying.
the place.
They're panicking and just shoving stuff in the tent.
What the hell is happening? You know. So I was really, really impressed, and I was really like the amount of work that they put into this. The director of this film is Scott Mann. and he also wrote it, and it was co-written by Jonathan Frank, who actually has worked with him on multiple films before. They actually worked on 3 other films before as writers. So I always like it when there's like a little duo team of people working on stuff. For some reason, like that just makes me super happy. I was so impressed. Oh, I forgot to mention that the husband, Dan, he is actually played by Mason Gooding, who was in Heart Eyes, which I love. And he was also in the 2022 Scream, and he was in the Scream right after that one, Scream 6 with Jenna Ortega. So, which is fun because I actually am wearing my Ghostface shirt right now. So I thought that was really cool. And his dad, her father-in-law, is played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan from The Walking Dead, as Negan from The Walking Dead.
I really know him as the dad from Supernatural. That's right. I took it all the way back to the beginning of that series. That's right. That's where I first remember seeing him as a character and as an actor that stood out from. After I saw him in Supernatural, I always recognized it. You know, it's like sometimes they have certain roles.
Yeah, he's got that rugged look.
I just know you forever now from that character. And other times I'm just kind of like, did I see? Oh, I did see you in something else. It's nothing against them. It's just I don't know, But he's one of those guys. Yep. So I think it's time we hit that wrap it up button and slap a rating on this bad boy.
We like to rate via chainsaw here, with 5 chainsaws being a cinematic masterpiece of survival horror. 1 chainsaw, you can't even trim your nails with that bad boy. It's not doing anything. So, how many chainsaws does Fall get?
I'm gonna give Fall a 4.5 out of 5 chainsaws. I gotta give it a 4.5.
Yeah.
This movie, I think I was a bit reluctant to watch it at the time that we were going to watch movies.
Yeah, I was definitely the one that was pushing for it.
Yeah, I was just kind of like, right, fine, put it on. But this movie really pulled me in, actually, so much more than I expected it to do. I felt so tense throughout so many scenes in this movie. Like physically, I was just like, I couldn't sit still because of some of these scenes in here. They just really captured them so well. And the 2 women doing all their stunts really lent to the believability of everything. Having that tower on top of a cliff, 1 is 100 feet up and 2 is on top of a cliff, so depending on the angles, you know what I'm saying? Like, they did a really good job with such a small cast, such a small set, actually.
Yeah.
They really sold it. I can't believe how much I enjoyed this, because I was kind of writing it off beforehand. I kind of didn't want to see it too much beforehand, honestly. I was just like, I'd rather watch something else, but she kept pushing. I was like, all right, go ahead. Pleasantly surprised.
You're welcome.
Rose, what are you going to give this one?
I am going to give Fall 5. I had a good feeling about this. I knew that I was going to be scared. I knew I was going to be anxious because, like I said, it was an old fear of mine. And I thought that they really took advantage of the situation to raise the tension to a fever pitch.
Yeah.
Like the all of the challenges that these girls face are so messed up, and it's so terrifying. And I was just blown away by their dedication. And then you know what tilted it into the 5 for me is when I saw that behind the scenes, and I saw that they did all their own stunts, and I saw that freaking set and that 100 feet up in the air. I know I'm terrified at 20 feet in the air, let alone 100 feet in the air. Forget it. This was insane. The way that they were able to pull this off, I thought that really lent authenticity to everything. And I think these characters are just so well played. Well
written, well acted, just well executed. you wouldn't even know that they had all the issues that they did
Yeah.
getting this together.
Not at all.
Good
Not
job,
at all.
guys.
They did a great job. It looks fantastic. It's super scary. The tension is constant.
And I love a movie that is kind of like a sleeper that I'm not expecting too much out of, that gives me way more than I'm expecting. I was like, oh, okay, I have to pay attention. Like,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely, absolutely. This film really was surprisingly awesome. Like, I had a feeling it was going to be good, but it totally outshined my expectations. Bravo.
You have your homework for the weekend. You're welcome.
Oh, one last thing.
Uh-oh.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to interrupt you. Okay, one last thing. I'm sorry, guys. April 11th, we are hitting the stage once again. You can see us live, Lucky 13 Saloon, one of the coolest looking, most badass metal bars in New York City. We're going to be playing with our good friends, the Amatory Murder. We're also playing with the fantastic Miss Cherry Delight, who just put out her own music video just recently, just the same amount of time, I think around Valentine's Day, I think Friday the 13th, day before we released ours. Parasite. Go and check it out. Be excited. Galfieri is also joining us. It's going to be a rockin' good time. We're going to have a blast, and we would love for you to be there with us. All right, now we can say goodbye. Sorry about that.
That's all from us today. We are from Cut Like This, and we are
Out.